Hi, my name's Diane, and I thought since BTS Army are about to head to the races for tickets tomorrow, that I would share some of my ticketing tips as an ATEEZ when it comes to Ticketmaster. I have actually had the good fortune of securing the highest level of VIP ticket for each of the concerts I've attempted for. I have seen ATEEZ in concert 6 times over the past few years. The first was in 2022, but my friend bought those tickets and we couldn't afford that much. Plus, I didn't really know them yet. But when they came to Toronto in 2024, I was able to secure an ATEEZ VIP ticket, which was the highest level because they were at Scotiabank Arena, which included send-off for the first time. And then I went again during that tour to Amsterdam with a friend and was able to secure us Ultimate VIP as well, the highest level. And then I went, once they started their In Your Fantasy tour this past summer in 2025, I went to Mexico City for that show and also got Ultimate VIP with a front row seat in the stadium, which if you know the capacity, that was pretty mind-blowing that I was in the very front row. After that, I also saw them twice in Saitama, Japan, but the ticketing system for Japan is a bit different, and I'll discuss all of that. But I just thought I'd share a bit of my credentials so that you know that this isn't just another video talking about general Ticketmaster tips on how to get a ticket, but how I've actually managed to get VIP every time I've tried. So I've made notes in my VIP planner that we were given in Mexico. Let's see. I'll try to also put in inserts of images, just like of my tickets, so you know that I'm telling the truth, as well as like just general things as I go, so that it's more clear, because I know that I am someone who is better with visuals than with just listening to learn things. So I'll try to put those in, but I also want to get this up as soon as possible so that any ARMY who are panicking can maybe relax. I like BTS a lot. Just a little bit more info. I got into K-pop in 2017, and honestly, I fell hard for Big Bang and G-Dragon, but I listened a lot to BTS at the time as well as Blackpink. And actually my first K-pop album ever was a BTS album. My ex-boyfriend's mom brought it back for me from Korea. I remember being so confused by the photo card, I almost threw it away. Now, as someone who collects, like, you can't see it, it's off camera, but I have the entire collection of ATEEZ albums, like all their Korean releases, as well as at least the 18 edition of their Japanese releases. So like now I would panic about something like that, but it's just funny to think about the first exposure to a K-pop album and what that's, how different that is and how confusing it is when you're not familiar with it. So with that in mind, I thought there would be some new fans or people who have only recently, not necessarily recently, but just since the last tour that BTS did, have come of age for being able to buy their own tickets on Ticketmaster. Maybe like in the past they were too young, so they might be really scared about what that's like, and it is anxiety inducing. So take a breath, relax, and I will share my pointers with you. First of all, in general, I would say your best bet, if you can, I know it's not an option for everyone, is to try and choose a city that is not as popular to go to, like if you can. For example, when I bought the tickets to go to Amsterdam, I also had another tab open for Paris, because that would have been really cool. ATEEZ was going to be in Paris for Valentine's Day, of all things. Oh, wait, maybe that was Copenhagen. But anyway, I had a window open for Paris as well as Amsterdam. And I got into Amsterdam right away and was able to secure our tickets within like 5 minutes of pre-sales starting, while I was still in the waiting room for Paris, and I was maybe like, I don't know, something like 30,000th in line. So like, that just goes to show you that sometimes it's worth going to maybe a less popular stop if you can, because then you'd be more likely to secure a ticket, let alone VIP. Because yeah, I can't even imagine what it's going to be like tomorrow. Another pointer is that you really don't need to wait on the Ticketmaster website before sales open, because that does not affect anything. Because once sales open, then there's a link for you to click on to enter the waiting room, and that's what matters. That's where you're put in the queue as in Queue, as in a line, along with everyone else who's waiting to buy tickets. Just sitting on the website doesn't affect that whatsoever. So like, no need to be on there an hour or 2 hours in advance. It won't do anything for you. What I do instead is I set alarms on my phone for when it's like 5 minutes to ticketing starting, so that I can be sure to get ready and logged in to Ticketmaster and like have my browser open or app ready or whatever, and that way I'm ready right when sales open to enter the waiting room and join the line. Yeah, because it's just a waste of time. Because honestly, what you would have to do is probably refresh the page if you were waiting all that time anyway, which undoes everything. So it really doesn't affect it if you're sitting there waiting for 2 hours. It doesn't help you. So get your rest, hydrate. Because honestly, after buying tickets, the first time especially, I was so wiped from all the anxiety and the roller coaster of emotions of the stress that the rest of the day I was pretty much useless. So do what you can. Like, if you meditate, make sure you get enough sleep, hydrate, all of those things, have a good workout, all those things to help with your stress level, and try to keep cool. Because honestly, like, being stressed and anxious is when you're more likely to make mistakes, and then just be really, really frustrated with yourself. So if you can, try to focus on whatever you can do to bring your stress level and anxiety level down, and just set an alarm to remind you so that you can be ready for the sales. But you don't have to sit waiting on the website. But one thing you can do in advance that can be helpful is saving your payment information in your Ticketmaster account so that it's ready to go. Because every moment can count, like, once you've got the ticket, because there is a timer, you can time out. Like, you can have the ticket, you can have secured it, and then run out of time to pay, especially if the site is glitchy, which, let's be honest, it probably will be with so many people for BTS. So if you can save your credit card information in your Ticketmaster account, like even now, like a day before or whatever, that is helpful. But still keep it nearby, like when you're actually in the sale, just in case like you need the security code on the back or something, or God knows, like if there's a glitch where it's not bringing up your payment info. And maybe have an alternate one as well, just in case one is maxed out. You also don't need multiple Ticketmaster accounts. Honestly, like, if you do have like a group of friends who all want to go together and you all want to try for tickets at the same time, sure, you can each have your own accounts, but you on your own don't need multiple accounts, because you would need a separate phone number for each account if you did have them. Otherwise, Ticketmaster will flag your accounts as bots, and then you'll get kicked out of the ticket line, and you'll be blocked for like at least 15 minutes, which is everything during pre-sales. It's during the first 15 minutes that a lot happens, though I'll get to that. Do not panic if you do get kicked out. I've been kicked out and still managed to get highest level of VIP, so I'll get back to that. But yes, you do not need multiple accounts. And also, it's best not to open multiple windows, multiple tabs, or even multiple dates with the same account, trying to join the line in different ways. Even on multiple devices, you don't want to use the same account more than once, because again, Ticketmaster will flag it because you're already logged in. So if you're trying to log in again, like in another tab or on another device, it's going to flag it, and then it'll shut both down. So it's best to just pick one, one method. And there's a debate on this. Like, some people will try both their phone and their laptop. Some people prefer their phone because mobile usually is slightly faster to connect, and you might get a little further along in the line by using mobile. But I'm old school that way. I prefer to use my laptop when it comes to large purchases, and let's be honest, these tickets are expensive. So I naturally prefer my laptop, but I also find that using a mouse and having the browser means that when I get in and can see the ticket map for choosing my seat, it's way easier with a laptop and a mouse than it is like with your phone screen and using your thumbs and tapping and trying to do it, because sometimes that's glitching too. I find that Ticketmaster app really glitchy, personally. I don't know if it's just me, but so personally I prefer using a laptop, even if it might connect it slightly slower, but that's up to you. Just use one though. You only need one. Let's see, what else do I have? I want to make sure I'm doing these in an order that makes sense. Oh, in general, like, pre-sales usually means that it's in advance of the general public. It's special access. So when it comes to K-pop tickets, or even just not K-pop, but like regular just concerts, it means joining the fan club of whichever band or singer or whatever is performing, and then they will be able to give you access to pre-sales. With ATEEZ, that means you're an ATEE, you get the ATEE membership, and then they'll post a survey in advance for you to fill out for what cities you're interested in going in. And then I think it's about 24 hours before pre-sales open, they will email you a code. And then that's the code you use to access pre-sales. Whereas I was just reading for BTS ARMY, it mentions that there's nothing like that. What it is you just had to register for your ARMY membership on time, which was last Sunday. I know, because I considered it, but I'm very poor right now. Too many concerts last year. Anyway, and I also wanted to make room for actual, like, really devout ARMY, whereas I'm more of a casual fan. So anyway, for BTS ARMY, your code, your pre-sales code, is just your membership number. So it starts with BA, as in BTS ARMY. And then it'll be like, I think it's at a 10-digit code. that you use. So like make sure in advance, that's a good thing to get in advance as well. Look up on Weverse your membership code, your membership number, and write it down. Or I'm a big fan, I'm an Apple user, iPhone user, that's what I'm shooting on right now. And I like to use the Notes app because it syncs between my phone and my laptop, the notes. So then I can just put in all the information I need to remember, like credit card number, pre-sales code, all those things. Excuse me. And then I can just copy and paste it from the Notes app. Makes it super easy. But yeah, have that ready because that is your pre-sale code. So what will happen when it comes time, when it comes time for pre-sales to start, you will go to the website, select the city that you want to go to, and they'll have a button, you know, like once it's opened for pre-sales, you'll click on that or tap on that, and then it'll take you to the waiting room. Once you're on the waiting room page, once it says you are in the queue and it has a number, do not refresh the page. I know we all get impatient, and like normally if it's taking a long time for something to load, you refresh it and that might make it jump ahead and it's suddenly loaded because of cookies. But when it comes to the queue, if you refresh, it refreshes, like it restarts you in the line. So you might already be, there's only 100 something people in front of you left, and then you refresh for whatever reason and it boots you back and suddenly you're like 30,000 people in line again. So once you're in the line, do not refresh. The only reason you would want to refresh is if you're noticing nothing is changing. Like it's frozen and it's been that way for 5-10 minutes. That's not normal because there are a lot of people going through and it usually goes pretty fast. It goes very, very fast. So if you're noticing that nothing is changing and it's just frozen, then you can refresh. Otherwise, do not touch it. That is the most frustrating thing when you're like in line and you're almost there and then something happens and it refreshes on its own and you're like, no. So do not refresh. Let's see. Do not use. I did this. No need to wait. No need for accounts. Do not refresh. Don't use same account. Versus mobile. Okay, so once you get in the queue, you'll wait. It'll count down, but it won't be like 1, 2, 3. Like it won't be counting down by ones. It'll just suddenly like change by hundreds, sometimes thousands, depending on how many people are in the queue. So like it could say like you're 500th in line and then all of a sudden it says you're next in line. Like, so don't be surprised if that happens and don't be expecting it to just evenly count down backwards in increments of 1. That's not going to happen. It'll be like hundreds at a time. So, and yeah, once it says that you're like 100th, it's very fast. So if you have to go to the bathroom or anything, make sure you do it like before. You don't want to be in the bathroom and it's your turn and oh, that would be so frustrating. But once you're in, you'll be in the queue. Suddenly the page will change and you'll see the venue map with all the seats, all the sections. And basically first it'll just be the sections of the venue and they'll have like, it'll be colored in if there are seats still available in that section. And if not, it'll be like, you can't click on it. And then once you click on a section, then it'll zoom in and you'll be able to see like individual seats and you can pick one. And you will watch, it will go so fast that all these dots are there and then suddenly they disappear Because there are hundreds of other people doing this at the same time as you. So you got to move quickly. It helps if you can, in advance, maybe look up the venue, like on a site that talks about like ticketing or like people's reviews of the seats in that specific venue. I've done that before to make sure like, oh, this one's semi-obstructed, but it won't say that when you're on Ticketmaster. So I know I don't want that seat. Or they'll recommend like which sections you want to sit in for the best view, depending on whether it's a live event or a sporting event or whatever. So I think I used Seat Guru to do that before for Toronto. I'm not sure. But there are lots of websites. If you Google like the venue, like just the name of the stadium or arena that you're going to, and then like a seating chart review, something like that, you'll get like a really nice description of like what's in the venue, what the seats are like, what people say, which sections are the best, and all of that. So like you can have in mind when you're like so stressed and it's so fast and you gotta go, you know which sections you want to aim for first. Because if you click on a section and it zooms in, then like that's not the section you want. Like it makes it a bit trickier because then you got to go back and then pick that section again. So if you know in advance which sections you want and you see like one of those sections is available, you can go for it right away. That saves you time. So it's good to do the research in advance if you can. But yeah, it will zoom in on individual seats and you'll click on one and then like it will come up with the payment info. Usually at that point, like before you even choose a seat for pre-sales, for VIP, if you want VIP or just pre-sales access, there will be a box for you to enter your code into. That's when you like either copy paste it or you type it in. And then that will open up your access to those seats. Because sometimes like the VIP sections will be like blanked out until you enter that in. So you don't know, they might actually still be available. So you got to make sure to do that. But yeah, once you pick your seat, then the payment option should come up. However, once you choose it, it will tell you the price. And then it'll have like a little fill-in box for how many tickets you want within that area. And it'll usually default to 2. So if you only want 1, you got to change it to 1. Otherwise, you're automatically buying 2 at a time. And then you hit, you know, like accept. Yes, you want that. Like depending on the price. Because sometimes people get shocked because you don't know the prices in advance. A lot of the time, for some reason, they keep it secret. So then you see how much it actually costs and you're like, oh my God. There's also an option on Ticketmaster to, you can choose your own seat, like what I just described, or there's an option on the side to just choose best available, and it'll choose like the highest ranking seat, like most VIP or best seat, most expensive basically for you. Sometimes that's an easy way to just pick a really good seat. But if there's a particular section you want, or if you have like a particular need, like for me, I have a bad shoulder and neck on my left side. So it's best for me not to be on the left side of a stage because then I have to turn to the right, which can aggravate my neck. So I always have to be like looking for seats in a particular area. So I don't usually use that choose best seat available, but some people do. So that's an option. Yeah. But once you choose your seat and the window pops up, it'll say, hold on, we're securing your tickets. And that's when you're holding your breath, because that's the moment when you might lose it. If someone else clicked on it at the same time, but like a split second sooner, you will see the message, oops, another fan bought those tickets. and then you are kicked right back in and you got to find another seat. And that will probably happen several times, multiple times before you finally get one. Because it's so fast. It's so intense and overstimulating. But if you get past that, if it says hold on, and then you don't see the oops, another fan message, then it's yours. That's your ticket. Like, it's secured. You just have to pay for it. And like I mentioned before, there is a countdown clock. There's a timer. I think it's 10, you have 10 minutes to pay. And you got to pay within that time, or else the ticket goes back for everyone else to have access to. And sometimes that can be an issue, because when I bought my first ticket for ATEEZ, they were having a glitch. Like, it wasn't working. The credit card payment service wasn't working. It was you were supposed to verify your card with a photo, and that wasn't working. Like, it would open the little box with the camera and you could see your card, and then nothing would happen. There was no button to press to take the picture or anything, and then you would time out. It was very frustrating. I eventually got through by choosing to use Klarna instead, which I don't necessarily recommend installment payments, but sometimes it's the best option. And in this case, it got me through. Yeah, so like sometimes if it freezes, you've only got a limited amount of time, or else you lose the ticket. So you've got to like try other options if you can. But also, that leads me to another point about don't freak out if you get in there and it's like 15 minutes in and all the VIP are gone and you really, really, really wanted VIP. Because that happened to me with my first purchase. I got into pre-sales and then my computer froze and I had to refresh, and I got kicked out and I was back in the queue. I had already been in for like buying tickets, and then I got kicked out and I was panicking. I was freaking out. I was crying. And then I finally got back in and all the tickets were gone. I was able to get like one of the lower ranking like VIP tickets, because they had ATEEZ was the highest, and then they had Sector VIP was the next, and those were the VIP tickets. So I was able to get a Sector VIP, and this was about like 15-20 minutes into pre-sales. And I was so sad and frustrated, but at least I still got VIP. That option didn't have send-off, so I was sad about it. But I remembered I had seen another video, because I did a lot of research before I ever did it, because I was nervous too. I had seen someone say, don't freak out because people time out on their tickets, or for one reason or another they decide not to buy them, or like they're all buying with their friends and someone else secured better tickets, so then they let theirs go, or they all got them and so like they don't need all of them, so they let those go. So for whatever reason, often if you are there the first 15 minutes and all the VIP's gone, then wait maybe like another half hour, go back in like around 45 minutes in, because by then like it's died down a lot. But that's also usually when some of the VIPs have been bumped back into sales, because people have either opted not to buy, or they've timed out, or they don't have enough money to buy. Like they got them, they wanted them, it was in their cart, but then they realized they can't afford them for one reason or another. So that's what I did. I'd been crying, panicking, feeling really sick to my stomach because all that anxiety and stress. And I went back in 45 minutes into pre-sales, and there was an ATEEZ VIP, which was the highest level. And I bought it right away, and I was able to resell the Sector VIP to someone who became my friend. She's the one I went to Amsterdam with. And yeah, and transferring VIP was interesting too, because a lot of the site says you can't transfer the VIP, like, you can transfer the ticket, but you can't transfer the VIP, like, perks. But that wasn't true. On the day of the concert, I transferred to her, and it was totally fine. But all that said, one big warning. Do not buy the Ticketmaster, the Platinum tickets. Those are not VIP. What those are is they're kind of like Uber surge pricing. Basically, it's Ticketmaster's way. It should be completely illegal. But those tickets are just regular tickets, but they're random seats that have been assigned surge pricing. So like most tickets in the venue will be like a flat rate, like for a certain section. And then those seats, depending on how many people are trying to buy tickets at that moment, those prices will reflect that for those platinum seats. So like if everybody's rushing and it's the first 15 minutes of pre-sales, those seats will somehow be like 5 times as much as any other ticket. And then like the only time to buy platinum is if you haven't been able to buy during pre-sales or any of the time leading up to the concert, and it's like the day before or day of the concert, and there's like no one buying tickets and they're available, then they'll actually drop below price because nobody's trying for them. So then that can be a good way to get a really good ticket, is to get a platinum on the day of the show. But do not buy them during pre-sales, because that's when they're going to be surging and going to be so expensive, and you're going to think, oh, this must mean VIP, but it does not. It just means surge pricing. So please do not buy those. Ticketmaster Platinum tickets are not worth it. They're not worth it. I know you really want to see the artist, but look for a different seat. And if those are all that's left, do not buy them. You'll be able to probably buy from another fan at cost instead of like the surge pricing of Ticketmaster. I promise. Like, I know I resold my other ticket at cost, and there were so many other ATEEZ selling at cost or even below cost because they were just trying to recoup some of their money because they didn't need that ticket. Like, they bought it for a sister or a friend or someone who then couldn't go after all, so they just needed some money back. So if you see all that's left is platinum seats, then try, I know it's tempting, but try to hold off from those because they're going to be way too expensive, and instead just scour Instagram, scour Discord servers that are full of people going to the show for your city, and look for people who are reselling tickets that they no longer need. And try not to buy from people who are like trying to gouge other fans. If they're real fans, they should want you to be able to go, and they should just want to recoup their costs. Like, if they shouldn't be making a profit, like that's icky. Because I know a friend of mine pointed out I could have put my ticket up and resold it for a lot of money because the show was basically sold out, but I didn't want to do that because I'm older, so like I know that a lot of the fans are younger and can't really afford it, so like I wasn't gonna do that to them. So yeah, don't gouge each other when it comes to pricing with reselling, and yeah, try to hold off of platinum because Ticketmaster is criminal. Let's see what else. Save your info. Once you get past that, don't panic. Oh, once you buy your ticket, don't panic if it doesn't have a barcode or a QR code. When I bought for Europe and when I bought for Mexico, it was immediate, like it was in there. But for US or Canada, they don't tend to put a barcode or QR code for your ticket until about 24 hours before the show, because they don't want people scamming. Because people will, like, they'll sell like a photo of their ticket, and you can't use a photo. You have to use the real thing. Like, that's another thing to know. Like, when you actually go on the day of, you can't just use a photo of your ticket. You have to pull up the Ticketmaster app and show your ticket in the app. Or if you have Apple Wallet, it will have the option in advance to add your ticket to Apple Wallet, which I find is great because sometimes the app, like I said, is glitchy. But especially on the day of the concert, like if Wi-Fi isn't good because there are so many people at the venue, Apple Wallet doesn't need internet. So like if it's already saved on there, you don't have to worry about connecting to Wi-Fi or anything to be able to get your ticket. You can just pull it up in your Apple Wallet and they can scan it. And if you have VIP, you're going to need photo ID to bring with you to prove that you are the person who has the ticket. So that's why, like, basically when I resold my sector VIP, I met up with the person I was selling to. I was willing to go up with her to the VIP table and tell them the situation and show my ID so that she could get all the VIP perks if the transfer didn't work. But they said to just transfer. I didn't want to transfer until I was sure it was safe because I didn't want her to lose out on the perks that she'd paid for. That would have been awful because then it just would have become a general admission ticket standing, which is like the worst. So you don't want to pay for a VIP and not actually get VIP perks. So, but yeah, you have to have an ID that proves you are the person who owns the ticket for VIP, because then they give you like a wristband and things like that, and gifts. You get VIP perks. I have more over there. You can't see off camera. But yeah, I think that's everything. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Don't panic. So yeah, the QR code or barcode should show up about 24 hours before the show. Sometimes it's a week. It depends. I have a feeling for BTS it's going to be 24 hours because, yeah, to cut back on scamming. Also, or it could be 48 hours. Actually, that's what I have written, 48 hours. When it comes to VIP info, if you did buy VIP, don't freak out if you don't know what's going on in terms of like when sound check is or any of that. They don't tell you until 24 hours before the show. You will get an email. Not before the show, before sound check. You will get an email about what time you're allowed to start lining up, because no camping. No camping. We don't need camping, especially if you have reserved seats. If you're in a stadium with a reserved seat, what is the point of camping? Don't do it. It's not good for you. It's just not good. It gets so dirty. There's no need to camp if you have a ticket for a seat. Like, why? Why would you do that? Don't do it. Yes, show up as soon as they say you're allowed to line up. That's fine. Because, yeah, you'll get a wristband with a number that will let you in to your specific spot if it's general admission. But in the case of BTS, they're going to be at stadiums, so you get a specific seat. It's reserved. So there's no need to camp. Just show up when ticketing, like when the doors open. You're fine. That's what it was in Mexico. I was at a stadium. Like, I showed up a bit early, like, because then there was like the ATEEZ zone to pick up, you know, like special photo cards and advance access to merch, you know. So that's why I came a little early. But aside from that, it wasn't as early as I came for Toronto or for Amsterdam, where we were general admission. And in that case, it's like you just wanted to get there early so you had a good spot in line for a good spot to stand once you were inside. Which I hate general admission standing, but you know, when it means send off, then you do what you do. But yeah, you should get the VIP info about 24 hours before sound check, and that will tell you where to go, like which gate to go to, when you're allowed to line up, and all the details of the schedule, like how the day will go. And then when it came to send-off, I know BTS doesn't have send-off, but for like ATEEZ, when we had send-off, they don't tell you like where that's going to be or what time. It's basically after the concert, after everyone is like leaving, then they call all the people with send-off to basically the floor. We would all gather, excuse me, and then they would lead us to a spot to wait, like in seats. And then they would pull us, not in that order either. So like there's no reason to push or try and get ahead of anyone else, because it's totally random who they choose. They'll take like a row of people and they'll guide you, and you'll walk in a line to whatever area where they've got set up for send off. And it's usually they've got like, you know, the barriers all set up and everyone goes all around it. And then you wait there and the members come out one by one, and you get to say hi and get things signed. For the first two that I had, they also did selfies, but by Mexico they weren't doing selfies anymore, probably because it took too long. But yeah, we could still have our phones out and record video. When they were doing selfies, we were all like doing the screen record option, so that like, and making sure to turn the sound on, which I didn't know the first time. So my videos from send off the first time don't have any sound to them, but they're a bit chaotic anyway, because I was more focused on trying to get them to take my phone to take selfies. So there's a lot of my chin. And also, yeah, it's cringy, so I don't share those videos. But yeah, when they're not doing selfies, then you can just have the video running anyway and recording. So let's see, signing up, VIP info, the code. Oh yeah, there's also usually a limit on how many tickets you can buy at a time. So like for ATEEZ it's usually 6. For BTS I see that the limit is 4. This also means some of us shared codes. Like not all our friends had memberships, but they still wanted to go and be VIP. So like if we used our code and had gotten our tickets, then we'd share the code with someone else who didn't have one for one reason or another. But I don't know if they track how many tickets that specific code has bought. I guess in the case of BTS you can't share because it's your membership number, so it's going to have to match you. And I don't know if it's the case. I know it didn't matter with ATEEZ whether your Ticketmaster email matched your membership email, but I know that for some groups it does need to match so that they know it's the same person using it. So that's something to consider for your Ticketmaster account, to check whether the email needs to match your membership email. And let's see, that's about it in terms of like ticketing advice. I hope this is helpful. In terms of like send off, the members are always like really excited, at least for ATEEZ, excited to meet us, as excited to meet us as we are them. And they're really, really happy to get the chance to meet ATEEZ. And it's just like, just don't be weird. In the terms of like, don't be gross, don't be inappropriate, don't be over familiar like some people are, like in terms of like acting like they're your best friend because they've never met you before. I know we all have parasocial relationships, but they have no idea who we are. So just remember that they're human beings. They're normal people. They go to the bathroom, they sleep, they burp. You know, like, they're just people. They're human beings. Treat them as such. Be kind. And also look out for your fellow fans. Like, I know, like, I always seem to have this good luck. And, like, even with send-off, I was always at the front. Because they would often, like, have us ringed around with a barrier. And then there would be, like, another row of people behind. And in some cases, like, I know my friends, I got separated from them. And they told me later that they were behind. And the people in front of them were just kind of hogs for attention with the members. So they didn't really get to interact with anyone. But I was in front. I've been in front every time. And I would always make sure to ask the people behind me who their biases were. And I would, like, look and make sure to tell people, like, who was coming so they could get ready. And if their bias came and it wasn't my bias as well, you know, like, I'd make sure to, like, give them a little more space to interact with them. And, like, I've gotten signatures from all 8 members, like, twice, and then I got 2 selfies the first time from San and Yosung, and then the second time in Amsterdam I got selfies from all 8 of them. So, like, I'm more than happy to share time with other people because I've gotten everything that I wanted. There's no need to be greedy. You're not going to have your, like, your name moment, you know, like, if you think of fan fiction. So might as well make space for the people behind you too, if you're lucky enough to be in front. Like, just remember you're all there because you love these guys, and try to be kind and help each other out. Also, make sure on the day of the concert that you're well hydrated. Bring water. I actually bought one of those hydration backpacks that people use for hiking or for music festivals, and I brought that to the show in Toronto, because that one we were outside in line and it was summer, and I froze the pack the night before so it would be nice and cold. And of course I had to dump the water before going into the arena because you can't bring liquids in there, but then I could refill it at a water fountain right away, so it was fine. Whereas in Amsterdam, we were allowed to bring in water bottles. We just couldn't bring their caps. I don't know. Anyway, I guess it's just so that, like, if you were to throw the bottle at someone on stage, it wouldn't be as dangerous because all the water would fall out. I guess. I don't know. Anyway, now I'm rambling. But if there's anything I forgot, then feel free to ask in a comment. Or if you use any of this advice and it helps you, please let me know. I would love to hear any success stories from people who have taken my advice. I hope that I've shared stuff that you haven't heard before, because I know there are lots of other videos out there about, like, buying tickets. I hope that the fact that I've gotten VIP so many times is reassuring. Oh, I forgot to mention. That just reminded me about Japan. So, the whole system in Japan is a lot different, and I'm sure Korea is also similar. I haven't gone to a Korean show yet, but I'm hoping to this year, hopefully, whenever ATEEZ announces their finale show for this tour. But basically in Japan, it took having a friend in Japan. Like, I was going with her, but I still needed to buy an eSIM in advance of the show. Like, I needed an eSIM that gave me a Japanese phone number specifically, because most eSIMs just give you data. So you need an eSIM that also assigns you a Japanese phone number. And then none of them let you use them outside Japan. So my friend had to attach it to her phone so that I could create an account on the platform called Ticketmaster. That's what's used in Japan. And even if you're just accompanying someone to a show there, you have to have an account on Ticketmaster. And for that, you have to have a Japanese phone number and a Japanese address. But we just used her address. And then, like, the way they keep ticket prices so cheap there, because it was 1/10 the cost of my ticket in Mexico for a ticket there, is that you don't get to pick your seat. Basically, what you do is you enter a raffle in advance for the opportunity to buy a ticket. And each person can bring, like, one person with them. Like, you enter so that you can buy up to 2 tickets. And you enter for all the dates that you want to go. So we were going for 2 days. So we both entered, and my friend won on both days. And so that gave us the opportunity to buy a ticket. And each of them was, what was it? 150 Canadian dollars, which was about what? Oh, I forget how many yen that is. Anyway, and then you don't pick your seat. You only learn where your seat is when you pick up the tickets later before the show. Everybody just gets assigned a random seat. The only way you can know and be guaranteed to have a seat by the stage or by the extended stage, is if you then enter the raffle for the opportunity to upgrade to VIP. Because then you get guaranteed, like, the first 2 rows of seats and whatever other VIP perks there are. But we entered for those, and she didn't win because she had to enter because it was her. She was the one who had won our tickets in the first place. So we didn't get to upgrade to VIP, but still, so much fun. And then, yeah, you pay extra to upgrade there. But they also separate a lot of things. Like, sound check isn't included with VIP. They call it rehearsal. And that is done separately. And it's done through, like, serial numbers. Like, you have to buy albums. And then those have attached to them an entry for another raffle to be able to go to a specific rehearsal before a show. So ATEEZ was about to drop Ashes to Light, so I bought albums so that I was entering for the raffles for the rehearsals before the 2 shows that we went, as well as I bought 2 that had entries toward they were going to have a showcase when the album dropped. And I didn't get any of them, so I didn't get to go. But yeah, that was completely separate from VIP. So sound check wasn't included. I don't know what actually they got aside from the front 2 rows for VIP. But yeah, the whole system there is different, and it really does take knowing somebody there, because you, again, had to also have a membership in the Japan fan club in order to access any of this. Which I have, but I use her address because even though it says it's global and anyone can join, when you go to add your address, there's only the option for Japanese, like, districts. So it helped to have a friend living in Japan whose address I could use and who attached my eSIM to her phone. And of course, once I got to Japan, then we took it off her phone and then I used it while I was there. So it came in handy to have. And it was super cheap. I can share in the description, like, which eSIM I used. I liked it because they donate money to charity. Plus, there are very few eSIMs that give you a phone number. And so, like, I will share that in the description. I don't have a sponsorship or anything, so I'm not going to say it in the video. But just so you know, like, the system is completely different than it is here, but it's also very strict, and so they don't have scalping, and that's why they can keep the prices down, and everybody just pays the same amount. Because if they find you transferring your tickets or trying to give your tickets to anyone else, then if you're in the concert and you're not the person who bought the tickets, they will kick you out, even if it's the middle of the concert. And then whoever bought the tickets, you'll both be blacklisted after that as well. Like, they're really strict. You also can't have cameras or phones during the show in Japan either. you can only take them out like during encore. So yeah, it's strict, but it's fun. And also it was kind of nice that no one had their phones out, because like we were all just in the moment. Yeah. Anyway, I'm rambling now. I don't know if my phone is still going. It might be dead by now. Let me check the footage. If so, if it's died, I'll have to do all of this again. But yeah, I hope this is helpful. Let me know in the comments if you were able to secure tickets. I am rooting for you, BTS Army, and anyone else who comes across this video in the future who's nervous about buying tickets for their favorite K-pop show or any other show on Ticketmaster. I hope this is helpful. Okay. Thank you. Bye.